If you asked anyone in the village of Ekoro who the most pitied woman was, they would not hesitate. They would lower their voices, tilt their heads in the way people do when they want to look sorrowful without actually feeling it, and they would say the name like a sigh. Amara, Amara, the daughter of Chief Danladi, the man who owned the largest compound on the eastern hill, whose goats were fatter than some men's children, whose name alone could settle a debt at any market in 3 districts. Amara, who had been beautiful the way morning is beautiful, not loudly, not performing itself, but simply present and undeniable. She had been sharp-minded too, the kind of girl who listened to the elders' arguments and identified the hole in the logic before the elders finished speaking, the kind of girl who would have run something, inherited something, mattered in some lasting way. And then, at 22, her eyes went dark. It happened after the fever, 3 weeks of burning, of soaked cloth pressed to her forehead, of the village herbalist coming and going with his leather bag and his grave expression. When the fever finally broke and Amara sat up in bed and opened her eyes, she saw nothing, no darkness, no shapes, not even the blurry suggestion of light that some people retain. Nothing. The village mourned the way it mourns everything, loudly, briefly, and with a subtle undercurrent of relief that it had happened to someone else. Her father, Chief Danladi, was a man who understood power and land and negotiation, but had never quite understood tenderness. He stood at the door of her room on the 3rd day and said, "We will manage," the way a man says it when he means, "This is an inconvenience I have decided to survive." He did not sit beside her. He did not hold her hand. He hired a woman named Mama Chisom to guide Amara through the house and considered the matter addressed. The suitors, and there had been many, faded like chalk in rain. One sent a messenger with an apologetic kola nut and an explanation about his mother's health. Another simply stopped coming and was seen 3 weeks later at a neighboring compound, laughing at another girl's joke. A third, the one Amara had almost liked, had the honesty to say nothing at all, which she later decided was its own kind of answer. Only 2 people did not retreat. The first was her cousin Ngozi, beautiful, sociable Ngozi, who wore her warmth like a new outfit and whose kindness always arrived at exactly the moment people were watching. Ngozi came every day in those early weeks, bringing food, straightening things in the room, narrating the world to Amara in that musical voice of hers. The village saw this and approved. "What a good girl," they said. "What loyalty." Ngozi received more marriage proposals that season than she ever had before. The second was a man named Kolade. He was not from a notable family. He had no title, no inherited land, no cattle, no claim to anything that Ekoro measured as worth. He was a schoolteacher's son who had become a schoolteacher himself, which is to say, a man rich in knowledge and poor in almost everything else. He had been Amara's childhood friend, one of those friendships formed in the dirt and sustained through years of shared irreverence toward the world. He came on the 4th day after her sight failed, sat in the chair beside her bed, and said, "I brought groundnuts. Do you want to argue about something?" Amara had laughed for the first time since the fever. She did not tell anyone what happened 6 weeks later. 6 weeks after the fever broke, in the early grey hour before her household stirred, Amara opened her eyes in a dark room and saw the ceiling. Faint, imprecise, but there. She blinked. She turned her head slowly toward the window and saw the pale bruise of pre-dawn light pressing against the curtain. She lay completely still for a long time. Then she closed her eyes, and she kept them closed. The years settled into their shape around her performance. Amara learned the grammar of blindness, the way a careful actress learns a role. The slight delay before reaching for something, the way the head tilts to follow sound rather than movement, the particular quality of attention she gave to voices and footsteps, and the small betrayals of silence. She was meticulous, she made no mistakes, and she watched everything. It was in the 3rd year that Chief Danladi's business began its slow recovery, and with it came a renewed interest in Amara's future from every direction. An announcement went through the village, not of her father's making, but of the community's habit, that Chief Danladi was again entertaining conversations about his daughter's marriage. There was a man, a chief from the northern district named Obina, wealthy, well-connected, twice widowed, and in the market for a wife who would bring prestige without requiring too much. The village lit up with the news. Danladi found someone willing to take her. The women at the water well murmured, and Amara, walking slowly with her cane 3 feet away, awed every word and filed it in the place she kept such things. A blind wife is a manageable wife, one woman added, and several others laughed, and one said nothing because she was better than the rest, and Amara noted that too. Ngozi was thrilled. She came that evening with her best visiting cloth and her warmest smile and sat beside Amara's chair and spoke of it the way you speak to someone you believe cannot see your face. He is very distinguished, Ngozi said. Older, yes, but established. Your father says the bride price negotiation is already going well. She paused. It would give you